Sorry for the delay you just experienced there. Looks like we're back on air. Welcome to RubbingsRacing's GT3 Championship. We have got 10 minutes left of our qualifying session, which is going to precede the sprint race. This is round 3 of our championship here this season. And as I mentioned, we're at Fuji. We've got a dry sprint race lined up for you, and the feature race, we're expecting it to start off in wet conditions, so it's going to be a real challenge to see if the guys are going to make the switch to dry tyres early in that one. That's coming up. For the time being, this is the qualifying for the sprint race. We've got Archil currently at the top of the times boards on our 1:37.8. We've seen lots of very quick times here in practice leading up to this. Thank you guys for joining us on the stream. I just want to apologise for the lengthy delay in getting this underway, but it looks like we're all good to go, which is brilliant to see. And currently we're riding with our provisional pole sitter at the moment, Archil, who was new to the league last week at Monza. Did a fantastic job in the first race, managed to get on the podium. Wasn't so lucky in the feature race, but I'm sure we can expect good things from him here this evening. He's one of the quickest drivers on the PlayStation 4 platform. He holds several world records on this game, so it's an absolute honour to have him on board with us here for this GT3 championship. And currently going around the middle sector now. Thank you guys for joining us on the stream. Sorry for the delay getting this underway. We had a few technical difficulties, but it's all sorted now, and I'm delighted to say that round 3 of our GT3 championship here this evening is in full swing. Duftino has gone quickest of everybody so far in this session. He's done a 1:37.8. That's a stonking lap time there from Duftino. We've seen he's struggled in the first couple of rounds of this season. Not so much last week actually. He did very well in the feature last week, but definitely the first round at Red Bull Ring was not kind to him. He tried to make the switch to the Audi team, but that did not work out very well. He after one race with them, he decided to move back to his beloved Lamborghini, and as we can see, it's paying off. He's currently sitting on top of the timing boards, 0.02 of a second ahead of Archil here in this one. So great to see our Czech driver from Olomouc, former marshal on our Discord, now turned driver. He's got a few commitments in life which make it difficult for him to keep up with the work schedule of being a marshal, but it's great to have him still on board and still involved with RubbingsRacing here for season 1 of 2020. Jeff Sharp says, evening all, looking forward to a great race. Jeff, I'm the same. It should be a fascinating one to see how the guys handle. Well, first off, the sprint race is dry, so it's just a challenge of Fuji itself, but the second race we're expecting wet conditions at the start, so it will be an absolutely thrilling spectacle to see how these guys handle the opening laps in the wet. Let's see, so we got Lee Kendall is on board with us here this evening. Cole Houghton says, good evening lads. Cole Houghton there in the chat, regular now on our streams. Great to have him with us as we see Duftino go very wide out the last turn there, and that could potentially be an invalidated lap time. Archil goes to the top of the timing boards. Again, these guys just trading blow for blow. It looks like he's gone maybe a few thousandths of a second faster on that last time around. These guys absolutely on the limits here in these GT3 cars, and it's really about how much you can push these without turning them around. These GT3s almost, they've been described as undrivable within this community, but it's great to see that these guys are pushing them absolutely as far as they will go. Lee Kendall says, come on NRP, get that Datsun up there. He's pushing Lee, but at the moment Nicky sitting in, let's have a look, it's P11 at the moment in this session is Nicky. We're still waiting on a couple of guys to join us here. I think we've just got it now. So Travis has joined us here. Travis was the 14th man to join the lobby there. It's good to have him with us here. So it looks like we've got a full grid here for our sprint race finally. Ladies and gentlemen, this should be an excellent race. Let's have a look and split down the order and see what's going on here. We've got Edwin, our Colombian driver, current championship leader, and the first ever GT3 champion on RubbingsRacing. Actually took season 1 2019 championship back when RubbingsRacing was still a baby. It's about 10 times the size now of what it was back when Edwin won his first championship, and he's looking to become a double GT3 champion this evening. But or not this evening, but this season, although he's going to have stiff competition from the reigning champion Jasko, who was the season 2019 season 2 champion. Jasko, here he is, our Bosnian driver, as mentioned, reigning champion, driving his customary 666 Lamborghini livery over the line to complete a lap time in just a moment's time. And let's see what it is for Jasko. It is P3 for Jasko. He puts it on the second row, just ahead of Edwin, the two championship contenders here on row 2 at the moment. Archil and Duftino upstaging these two guys as it stands. Cole Houghton says, did you say wet feature race? I did indeed, Cole. Yes, the feature race is going to start in full wet conditions and it's going to dry up as the session progresses, so it will be an absolutely thrilling race to see how that pans out. Gary Campbell says, will it be wet or mildly moist? I believe it is set to be full wet, so lots of gushingly wet conditions coming out of the skies Fuji this evening. Let's see what Bruce Law's doing. Bruce Law has had a disappointing opening 2 rounds to this season. We were expecting great things after the time trials around Donington at the start of the season, when he actually got the fastest time of anybody. But so far it's been a little bit unlucky for Bruce. He retired from a couple of the races in the first round at Red Bull Ring. And Bruce Law, he's a 32-year-old from Chester in the UK. He loves LMPs. He's runner-up in the Endurance League at Actual Vision. He was 3rd in our LMP1 Championship at RubbingsRacing last season. And obviously, as I said, the fastest in the time trials at the start of the season. It looks like is he backed out this one? I'm not sure. We'll have to keep an eye on Bruce. It looks like he's coming down the main straight. He's got Archil behind him in the slipstream here. So let's see if Archil can gain a bit of lap time here as they come down this straight. Just going to test the audio and see make sure it's working. Yeah, it's all good. And Bruce Law comes over the line to start his hot lap, but he's got Archil in hot pursuit, and this will be interesting to know. Is Archil going to make his way past? Jasko has gone fastest of anybody in this session so far. Our Bosnian puts it on provisional pole position. Archil just a 1/10 of a second shy in second position as it stands at the moment in our qualifying session here for RubbingsRacing's GT3 Championship, round 3 at the moment. What is Disco Face, one of the new guys to this league. He raced last season in season 2 of 2019, and he's back again in the red Mercedes, the livery that we associate so famously with this man. Currently P7 in qualifying in this session at the moment. He's just over 2 seconds off of Jasko's pace at the minute. It's great to see our man from Scotland here back on the grid for another season. Thorsten Smith, P8 at the moment in the Porsche, 2.2 seconds off the pace as it stands at the minute. Our German driver, 30-year-old from Berlin. He loves GT3 cars. He's a fan of the GTs, GT4s and touring cars as well. He's been sim racing for just over 5 years. He did a fantastic job in the feature race last week at Monza, where he ended up finishing 2nd in that one, holding off the challenge of our reigning champion Jasko in the dying laps of that one. And I must say, it was some brilliant driving from Thorsten in that one. NRP, let's see what he's up to. Just coming through the chicane at the moment. Nicky is our man from Silverstone. He works at Silverstone Venue Services. He's also a marshal at the track. He is a big fan of rally cars and Group C. Actually used to be a semi-pro rally driver back in the day, and we found that out rather unfortunately in a race lobby around the Nürburgring Nordschleife in RXs the other night, where he absolutely trounced all of us. Won that race by 30 seconds. GT3, he's also very good in these as well. Here he comes out of the last corner. Let's see what this is going to be for Nicky. He's just coming down the main straight now, driving his Nissan GTR. And Nicky's going to come over the line now, and it's going to not be an improvement this time around. Jasko's gone even quicker at the top of the order. He's gone 0.4 of a second clear of Archil. First man into the 136s here this evening. We haven't even seen that in practice. That is a phenomenal lap time there from our man from Bosnia, reigning champion of the GT3 division. Archil, what can he do in the closing moments of this session here to try and upset the odds and put his car up on pole position? We've got a minute and a half left to go in this session. The fight for pole position well and truly on here at Fuji for round 3 of the GT3 Championship. Archil's going to come over the line now, just coming up towards the pit straight. Here he comes in the Mercedes. Archil currently P2, 0.4 of a second off of pole position, and it's not going to be enough this time around. He's going to get one more go to try and put himself at the top of the order. Where's Duftino? Duftino's coming through the middle sector now. Edwin, where's Edwin? So he's just behind Duftino on the track. So Duftino and will be first across the line, then Edwin, and looks like these guys only ones who can put a claim to pole position here. Jasko and Archil currently P1 and 2 at this stage in qualifying. Pit lane Jamie driving as a reserve in this one. Good to have him with us. Drives in the Renault, was driven in the Clio Cup earlier this season, was third in the championship before he had to pull out due to just a hectic schedule. Traven here. Traven was sixth in the pre-season time trial, regular racer in the GT3's last season. We saw him push Jasko a long way in our opening round at Red Bull Ring. Scotty here, Lions Foot, our Welsh driver from Swansea, regular in the GT3 league, one of our marshals here on our Discord.
Change your car.
And he's in a new car this race, actually driving the Nissan GTR, the light blue and black livery here. He's made a switch to the Lambo at the start of this season from the Ferrari. This is his third car that he's driven in our GT3 championship, and it'd be interesting to see if he can go even quicker than we already know he can go. So let's keep an eye here at the front of the pack. What is going on here? Duftino still on the lap. Edwin is going to come over the line now. Can Edwin put it on pole position? Currently P3, 1.4 seconds off the pace. The Colombian driver over the line. And it's not enough. Edwin stays P4 as it stands in this session. Duftino, the only one who can make a change to that order and put himself up on the front row between Jasko and Archil. But it looks like he's bailed out in the last corner there. He's made a mess of that one. And Duftino will start P3. Dalavan's still on the lap. What can Dalavan do? Can Dalavan put himself up onto the front two rows? Here he comes out the last corner. It looks like there's a little bit of lag there, but he's yep, that is definitely lag. Dalavan coming out the last turn now. He's got to get a good exit. He's got to absolutely nail that as he come down this straight. It's all about traction here through this last corner. Dalavan, P5, 1.9 seconds off the pace currently as it stands in qualifying. And what's it going to be? It's not enough to improve the lap time. Bruce Law still out there on a lap time. He's coming through the last turn now. Bruce Law currently P6, fastest in the pre-season time trials. We know he's got the pace in the GT3s. Is he going to pull out of the bag in the dying seconds of this qualifying session here for round 3 of RubbingsRacing's GT3 Championship here at Fuji? Evans still out there on a lap time. We're not sure what the split times are on that one, but we're going to stick with Bruce Law here as he comes over to complete his final lap of the session. Is it going to be enough to put himself in amongst it? It's not going to be enough, so it's going to be Jasko VR who's going to start on pole position. What's Evan going to do over the line? Evan crosses over, currently P14 in this session, and he stays P14, so it's going to be Jasko starting on pole position for round 3 sprint race here. Archil is going to line up alongside him on the front row. Then we've got Duftino and Edwin starting behind these guys. Dalavan and Bruce Law P5 and 6. We've got Disco McDisco Face, Thorsten Smith, then NRP and Pit Lane Jamie on row 5. P11 and 12 we've got Pit Lane, we've got Traven and Lionsfoot, then Travis, late entry coming into the session just at the last second there. Evan will line up at the back of the field. Guys, we're almost about to get going for our sprint race. I just want to say thank you to the guys joining us on the YouTube channel. Sorry about the delay. And guys on the track, you all know the rules. Keep it clean, keep it tidy. We're about to get going. Let's press continue. And we'll get going for our sprint race here at Fuji. So this one is going to be a dry sprint race. It's going to be very, very simple. It's 20-minute sprint to the line, no mandatory stop. This is just about getting it together when it matters here for our sprint race. We've got Jasko starting on pole position with a late lap there. It looked like Duftino and Archil were going to have it between them until Jasko absolutely popped out of nowhere and did a 1:36 there in the latter half of that session. So great luck there from our reigning champion. He's got Archil alongside him. Duftino third. Edwin, a disappointing qualifying session for him. Jasko's main, well, he's the championship leader, so I would hate to say main rival. It's more like he has the championship currently. Well, he's the leader, but Jasko here definitely has a massive chance of making an inroads to that lead, because Edwin with the lead, 3 points in hand, but at the moment, sorry about that, we're almost about to get going here for our sprint race. Thank you everybody for joining us live on the stream on the RubbingsRacing channel. Islander Jim says good evening. Cole Houghton says that NRP gave him a good Ford setup for TNL, so I'm hoping for NRP in this one. Good luck. Nicky says Gary Campbell. Nicky, you've got a lot of supporters here in this chat. We're about to go racing here. We are underway for our sprint race. That's a good start from pole position there for Jasko. Archil got a terrible start off the line. Got absolutely bugged down. He's already been passed by Duftino as they come towards the first corner now. It's a long, long run to the first corner, but we're heavy on the brakes. It looks like Disco has some contact there in the background there with Edwin. Disco and Edwin already into the wall. And these guys are going to come through the turn 1. Jasko leads the race. Archil second place. Duftino has dropped back after taking Archil off the line. It looks like we've got Thorsten Smith in the background there trying to make a move. Nicky's going to go up the inside here of Bruce Law into the next turn. It looks like Nicky's going to make the move. Nicky is up into P5. Pit lane Jamie gets a good start. Up into P7 here off the line. We're going to go side by side here. Looks like Edwin's going to try and make up for a terrible start. Our Colombian driver down 4 places off the line. Championship leader here, already struggling, but he's made up 2 positions there, and there's contact between Edwin and Evan there. I think was that, or no, that's Edwin and Edwin and Evan there coming together. Looks like they've just about got away with that as Edwin, but Evan dropping back 3 places there. We've got sorry about that. But it looks like Edwin there, and is that pit lane Jamie there going side by side through the chicane? It looks like in the process there, Evan gaining a position. Pit lane Jamie behind these guys. Lionsfoot's dropping back here. He's been passed by Travis. Travis is up into P11. What's going on at the front? Yasko VR leading here by half a second to Archer as they come around the final corner. Duftino not letting these guys get away. Please, can we keep the comments to a minimum on the stream? Thorsten Schmidt seems to be coming under some pressure now from NRP as they come down the main straight. It looks like there's not much to separate these guys. NRP's going to have a lovely draft here coming down the main straight. And we're hearing reports there on the team radio that apparently Travis there, or Traven, I'm not sure who, causing some incidents, but we'll keep an eye on that. Any incidents, any problems, put it in the stewards panel. We see a battle for the lead here. It looks like Archer's looking to the outside here of Jasko. These guys going side by side, wheel to wheel, and it looks like Archer backing out of that one, but it was very, very close racing. Duftino is right there as well. These guys, not much to separate them at all. Just half a second separating the top 3 guys. Jasko, Archer and Duftino. Fantastic racing here. And at the moment, Archer's splitting the 2 Lamborghinis, but these guys looking absolutely on it. Yasko at the moment doing a good job. Archer looks to the inside of Asko, but he's not quite close enough that time around. But these guys, a little bit of contact there, and Archer has to back out of it. Duftino there, they're going to go 3 wide as they come through this long right-hander. They go absolutely flat out towards the chicane. Who's going to have the bigger balls on their brakes here? It looks like Yasko's going to have to go to the very defensive, and maybe Archer trying to react to that and leaving the door wide open for Duftino. Duftino pulls alongside Archer, but it looks like Archer just about fends him off at the moment. But Duftino on the warpath looking for that position. Duftino's going to go for a move. Duftino up the inside into P2. Can he make it stick, or is Archer going to fight back on the outside? It looks like Archer's going to have the inside for the next corner and just about hold on for the position, but Duftino looking very hungry, gets the better exit out of that corner. Can he go for the undercut, or is Archer going to fade him off? It looks like Archer just about here making the defensive move, but Duftino's going to get a lovely run here out the last turn. If he can get the best exit possible, he's going to slot right into the slipstream. In the meantime, Yasko has made the most of these guys fighting and has pulled out a gap of a second here at the end of lap 2. But at the moment, it's all about this battle for P2. Archer and Duftino, not much to separate these guys as they come over the line. And here we go. You can see the clothing speed by Duftino. He's absolutely closing onto the back of our man in P2 now. He's going to look to the inside here at turn 1, but he's going to have to back out of that one. He's not close. Oh, is he not? No, my goodness, in the second phase of the braking zone. It looks like Archer's absolutely flown up the inside. But, no, Duftino, sorry, he's flown up the inside, but just about Archer there getting the better exit out of that corner. Not very much here between these guys. It looks like Archer fending him off just about, but Duftino absolutely has them back him. In the meantime, Thorsten Schmidt has closed onto these guys a little bit as well. Thorsten Schmidt making gains here in this race so far. But Archer just about fending off Duftino. Duftino not letting go. And there's going to be a dive up the inside there from Duftino, and there is contact between the 2 of them. That is very unfortunate to see contact between Archer and Duftino. That's going to allow an NRP Edwin through, and maybe Bruce Law might be able to capitalise on this. And Bruce Law is going to overtake Duftino as well. That is a disaster there. Duftino very late on the brakes there. I have to say that if I look at that, I'm going to have to put the blame on Duftino for that one. That was a little bit of a lunge there. It wasn't intentional, but Duftino definitely very late on the brakes for what it looked like, but you never know. I mean, it could be lag, but it definitely looked like a very late move there from Duftino. Nevertheless, these guys not too far off the leaders, and I'm sure that they can fight back here. There's still a long way to go in this sprint race. 15 minutes to go. No mandatory pit stop in this one, remember. So it's a straight sprint to the line. In the final corner here, it looks like Edwin's looking up to the back of NRP. These guys in a 4-car train, it looks like. Thorsten Smith's leading this 4-car train. 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 5th separated by not very much at all. In fact, Bruce Law and Disco putting right onto the back of these guys now as well. They come down the main straight, and a little bit of banging wheels there between Archer and Edwin, but it's nothing doing. And here we go. We have got Thorsten Smith leading this pack. NRP pulls to the outside. Can NRP make the move? Archer's going to look to the inside of turn one. Is he going to go for a dive? No, he thinks better of that one. Archer having to back out of that at the last second there. He thought about it and then thought no. Too much of a risk there. But Archer in the second phase of that braking zone has gone up the inside, and he's up into P2. Archer, 3 overtakes in 1 corner. Fantastic driving there from Archer. In the meantime, Thorsten Smith back into third. NRP is coming under increasing pressure now from Edwin for P4. Edwin here is going to look to the inside. He's got Duftino right up his chuff as well, and Disco trying to get involved in this on the outside. And Duftino spun. Duftino loses the car coming through the long right-hander of turn 3. And Duftino is going to drop lots and lots of positions in the process there. It looks like Disco's up a position up ahead of Edwin. There we go. Yep, Disco is up a position. Disco is in. Can we stop sending me messages, please? I don't want to see messages when I'm trying to commentate on the race. Thank you. It looks like Disco trying to fend off Edwin here as they're coming to the chicane. Edwin trying to make the move there, but Disco doing a good job there of keeping it behind him. There was a little bit of contact, but nothing major at the moment. It looks like Disco up a position here, and he's right on the back of NRP here in the battle for P4. But Nicky doing a good job at the moment, and these guys dropped off the back of Thorsten Smith just a little bit. Archer has been let into some clean air. And Nicky goes very, very wide there, coming to the second to last corner. That's going to allow Disco to look around the outside here. These guys are going to go side by side through the final corner. A little bit of contact, but it looks like Disco's up in position. Disco up into P4, and Nicky's now going to be a sitting duck as they come down this long pit straight. It looks as though Bruce Law's up in position. Bruce Law up into P5, and these guys are going to go absolutely wheel to wheel, side by side down the pit straight. Fantastically close racing in the GT3 division for RubbingsRacing's round 3 of our championship here at Fuji. We're going to go 4 wide coming into the first corner. Let's hope someone backs out of this one. It looks like Bruce Law takes the positions there. Bruce Law up into P4. Disco follows him through. It looks like Nicky's going to lose 3 positions in one sector here. It looks like Edwin's going to go up the inside. Edwin up into P6. After the drama of the first couple of laps, it looks like Edwin's recovering it just a little bit here at the moment. Our Colombian driver is bringing it back here, but Disco hassling the back of Bruce Law here in our battle for P4, right on the back of him. And Bruce Law's going to have his mirrors absolutely full here. Our Scottish driver, Disco, we know he's clean. He can be aggressive at times, but he's a very clean driver for the most part, very quick. We saw last season he took the victory in the sprint race at Kota. It was something of a specialist around these types of circuits, and we're seeing it again. He's cutting through the pack at the moment, up into P5, right on the back of Bruce Law. A little bit of contact there, but nothing doing at the moment. Very, very close racing between these guys, and very clean between these 4: Bruce Law, Disco, Edwin and NRP, really going at it. In the meantime, what's going on with Traven? Actually Traven's by himself at the moment, but in the background there, Lionsfoot and Dalavan going at it here for P10 and 11. It looks like Dalavan's just Lionsfoot just about keeping Dalavan behind him. Dalavan dropped back in the opening few laps here, and Dalavan spun. Oh my, no, that's not Dalavan, is it? That is Dalavan. Dalavan's lost the car. We've got a yellow flag, although he looks like he's in last place, so we shouldn't really need a yellow flag. But Dalavan's lost the car coming through the final sector here. He's got it going again. Good to see. But a disastrous start to this race here for Dalavan. He's lost bags of time and lots of positions here. Down to last place currently here in the 9th minute of this race. We've got Yasko currently on his own at the front, leading this race by 6 seconds. Archer running in P2 at the moment. Where's Thorsten Smith? Thorsten Smith's running in P4. Then behind him we've got Bruce Law. Edwin there is going to coming under massive pressure. It looks like he's got past Disco though. Edwin, our Colombian driver, up another position, up into P5. Disco here, flashing his lights at Edwin. I don't know if there was a little bit of contact there between those guys. Disco maybe suggesting that there was a little bit of untoward action occurring there, but we'll keep an eye on that. Disco very late on the brakes, looks to the outside there of our Colombian, and looks like Edwin just about holding on to the position though. What's going on in the background? Nicky dropping places here. He's lost 3 places in the last couple of laps. Nicky dropping off these guys, but hopefully he can get that sorted out. Duftino's up in position here. Duftino going to the outside here of Traven. These guys are going to go wheel to wheel. It looks like Duftino's got the move. Is Traven going to look to move up the inside of the chicane? He's going to be late on the brakes here as they go side by side. Traven back up the inside. Look up there from Duftino. Duftino's going to try the undercut and look to get a better exit here out of the chicane, but it looks like Traven's got it at the moment. We saw there Duftino and Traven going wheel to wheel. Duftino looked like he had the move, but Traven with a late braking move up the inside of the chicane holds on to the position just about. This is cracking racing here from these guys. Lee Kendall says a great pace from these guys, very entertaining. Cole Houghton says this is identical to how real life GT3 is from what I saw at Silverstone last year. Well, Who says we aren't realistic on sim racing? Oh, you see Duftino losing the car. That's a disaster there for Duftino, losing control, lighting up the rear tyres on the exit of the last corner. This race has gone bad to worse for Duftino so far in this one. Let's hope that he can get that one sorted out in the second half of this sprint race. We're just over half distance here in this one. At the moment, Jasko leads the way, Archel in second. These guys pretty isolated from the rest of the pack. Last time around, Archel actually closed in on Jasko. He's closing in by a second a lap at this rate, so we'll have to keep an eye on the lead battle here. 5 seconds currently separating those guys. In the meantime, Thorsten Schmidt with a lead of just over a second here to Bruce Law. These guys battling for third and fourth. It looks like Thorsten has got it down, got the hammer down here in the last few laps, but Bruce is closing in on him. We've seen Bruce has got the pace, but in the first 2 rounds of this season it really hasn't gone his way. Let's hope that he's maybe made some setup changes or figured out what was going wrong and got that sorted out. Here he is, closing right onto the back here of our German driver, and Thorsten's going to have his mirrors absolutely full in just a moment's time here. Bruce Law looking like he's really hungry for that position. In the background, what's Edwin doing? Edwin has obviously cleared Disco and is closing in on these guys at the moment, although the last lap wasn't particularly setting the world alight from Edwin. It's a 1:40.6. Keep an eye on the split times for this one, because Edwin could be going a lot quicker this time around. Now he's in some clear air, we may see what this man is truly capable of as he comes into the last turn now. And there we go, taking a little bit of a wide entry there through the final turn, but it obviously works for him, and as long as it works for you, you know, each to their own. Here we go, so let's keep an eye, see how much Edwin is closing the gap. I think he was quicker this time around than the guys in front of him. Currently P5 at the moment. Our championship leader will drop points in this one. He's done a 1:39.1, so Edwin is only bettered by Jasko and Archel that last time around. He's absolutely flying at the moment. He's closing on to the back of Bruce and Thorsten and could maybe be going for it. And Bruce has got past Thorsten Schmidt up into P3. We missed that on the stream, but Bruce Law is up into our final podium spot. Must have made the move there on the Porsche. We missed it there, but brilliant stuff from Bruce. He's absolutely flying here in the second half of this sprint race, and Thorsten may find himself open to an attack now from Edwin. Edwin is closing onto the back of him at a rapid rate at the moment. We're going to ride on board with Edwin as we can see Mount Fuji there in the background there. What a beautiful backdrop that is, this track, Fuji Speedway, located in under the shadow there of Mount Fuji, and quite often you see fog at this altitude here in this part of the world, so you can't see the mountain, but what a beautiful crisp clear day this is, and what a lovely sight that is there in the distance. As we can see here, Thorsten Schmidt's coming back at Bruce Law. Is he going to go for a move? Is he going to look up the inside? Thought better of that one, but a very close race in here. We're on board here with our Colombian Edwin, championship leader. I keep saying he's going to lose points to Jasko as it stands in this race though. Jasko currently second in the championship, 3 points off of Edwin at the moment. And here we come into the final corner now. Edwin's going to look to get a good exit here in that Mercedes AMG, but Thorsten Schmidt's going to have the slipstream of Bruce Law in front of him, so it's not going to be the desired effect that he would wish for here as they come down the pit straight to complete lap 9 here at Fuji, round 3 of our RubbingsRacing's GT3 Championship. Thank you everybody so much for joining us here live on the stream. It's great to have you with us here for our sprint race. Stay tuned for our feature race coming up after this. It'll be double the laps of the sprint as we see Thorsten Schmidt getting out of shape there, coming through the first corner, and that's going to allow Edwin up the inside. Edwin didn't need asking twice, but Thorsten's going to have a nice run here coming down this second straight, and he's going to have a look to the inside. Is Edwin going to leave the door open? Yes, he is. Thorsten up the inside, and the Porsche is back up into P4. Brilliant driving there. These guys marshalling themselves absolutely fantastically. Edwin did very well to seize the opportunity and get that exit out of turn 1, but Thorsten with his head absolutely lively managed to get a nice run on him into the next corner and got it back up the inside. Thorsten Schmidt just about holding on to P4. In the meantime, Bruce Law has shot off into the distance while these two guys battle each other, and Bruce Law will be hoping to pick up his first, I believe his first podium of the season. It's not been a great one so far, but Bruce Law doing an excellent job so far in this one. Cole Houghton says, is the feature going to be light or heavy rain? It's going to start off light rain, Cole, and then it's going to clear up. So it's going to be pretty short wet spell. And here we go. It's round 2 between these guys. Edwin's back up the inside there at Thorsten, and Bruce Law's dropped back massively. What's happened? Bruce Law's had a spin. Bruce Law in the wars here on lap 9. It was going so well for Bruce. He's had a turbulent season so far, and it's gone from bad to worse. for our man here from Chester. He's dropped back 3 positions. He's now 3 seconds off of a podium spot. It was looking so good for Bruce, but he's dropped heaps of time and heaps of positions in the process. In the meantime, Edwin going side by side here with Thorsten Smith. He's made the move here, but Thorsten's going to have a look back up the inside here, I'm sure, as they come down the main straight into turn 1. He's not quite close enough. Edwin is up in position and now finds himself, after a turbulent opening laps here, is in the lead of the, in the podium spot here, and currently leading the battle for a podium spot. But he's got Thorsten right up his bumper, and I'm sure that Thorsten's not going to let this one go lightly. In the meantime, in the background there, we can see Disco is closing in on these guys while they battle, but he has got a penalty from the race director, so we better keep an eye on the penalties here, because it will change the state of the play drastically by the time the race comes to an end and we reach the checkered flag. Let's see, Disco with a 4-second penalty, Bruce Law with a 1-second penalty, so Disco is going to lose absolutely bags of time. As it stands, he'll be passed by Bruce and by NRP as well, but it looks like at the moment Disco struggling a little bit. Thorsten is being closed in on by Disco though, and these guys do seem to be sticking with Edwin quite well. Thorsten doing a good job here, but we saw he was running P2 at the start of the race. Has dropped back a little bit. Our 30-year-old from Berlin says that he loves the GT3 cars and the GTE cars as well. What's going on with Disco and Bruce? Bruce is pulling back onto Disco now after a turbulent last couple of laps here. Bruce was running P3 until very, very recently, but he's had a bit of trouble here on lap 9 and 10, and he's trying to fight back here. He's in the slipstream with the Merc AMG. Let's ride on board with Bruce and see what he's seeing. Has he got the straight line speed to challenge him as they come down the pit straight? He's very, very close here. You can see the back of that red Mercedes that Disco is so famous for. Is he going to look to the inside, or is he not close enough? It looks like he's not going to be close enough to make a move here at this stage in the race. We'll keep an eye on that as it develops. In the meantime, Yasko's lead has been eaten into now by Archer. Archer's gained 2 seconds that last time around. We've got, if my calculations are correct, we should have a couple of laps to go in this race. We might be going for for 3 more laps. I'm not sure. It's either 2 or 3 more laps. It depends on what the timer's on when we cross over the line. But at the moment, Archer absolutely flying, and he's closing the gap to our Bosnian champion. But is it too little too late at this stage in the race? We'll have to keep an eye on this and see how it goes in the latter stages of this sprint race. Just over 2 minutes to go in this session so far. Let's see what Disco's doing. Disco is being absolutely hounded here by Bruce Law. As we come into the chicane, Bruce right out of the back of him. Disco a little bit out of shape there, coming through there. Just got a little bit sideways, keeps it together though. But Disco really is putting the pressure on now as they come into the final sector here. We'll keep an eye on the leaders actually to see how many laps we've got left to go here in this one. Yasko is going to come over the line now. And by the looks of it, I think we're going to be going for 2 more laps. Because Archer just crossing over the line now, he's doing a 1 minute 38 per lap. He crossed the line with 1 minute 40 to go, so Yasko knows he's going to have to cross over the line to start another lap, simply because he will not be safe. He's not got enough of a gap to Archer to slow down before the line and finish the race. Islander Jim says, always enjoy the racing and the commentary. Well done. Thank you very much, Islander Jim. It's all about these guys on the track. If these guys weren't doing what they do on the track, I wouldn't have the content to talk about. As we see a battle off of P5 up the inside. Disco face dives up the inside for P5. He looks like he's been displaced there. Bruce Law. It looks like they were going side by side there, coming down the pit straight. But at the moment, it looks like Disco's got the measure of him. Bruce Law, we saw, was hounding him and managed to get past, but Disco fighting back. These guys actually closing in onto the back of Thorsten Schmidt now. These guys were both half a second faster than Thorsten the last time around. So this is going to be a hell of a battle here for P4. It looks like Edwin's run off into the sunset for P3 at the moment. Our final podium spot will be occupied by our championship leader, but it's all about P4 at the moment. And what's going on at the front actually? Let's see what Yasko's doing. Yasko's got a 3-second lead, so last time around that gap seems to have kept it at the same. He's currently got 3 seconds here, so Yasko's responded to Archer's pace as we come around the last corner now. So we will be doing 1 more lap here of Fuji Speedway here this evening for our sprint race, and then after that we'll be getting going for our feature race, which will be double the laps with a mandatory pit stop, and we're going to have some rain at the start just to throw an extra element into it and spice the racing up just a little bit. What's going on in the background here with Disco? It looks like he is very, very close now to the back of Thorsten, but we know Disco's got a penalty. So Thorsten, is he going to still fight Disco for it, knowing that Disco's got a penalty? I'm sure the racer inside Thorsten will want to push it for everything he's got and keep Disco behind him on this final lap, but it's all down to whether or not he's got the wherewithal to keep him behind him or not here as they come over the line to complete lap 12. We're on the final lap here at Fuji for our sprint race. The console was saying, what happened to Edwin 17 seconds back, or was Iasko just being on fire? No, Edwin got caught up in a few incidents on the first couple of laps, dropped way back, was down in P8 after the first lap. Due to a terrible start, the Colombian driver's actually made it up a little bit so far and pushed his way back up to P3, although his lap times have not been of the same consistency of Iasko and Archil. So Edwin definitely up against it here. Championship leader. Seems to be a bit of a bogey track for our man from Colombia. Buzzing Hornet Racing says, let's go Bruce, my man. He's well behind his man Bruce Law, currently in P6, was in P3 at one point. Bruce Law had a really good opening to this sprint race, but dropped back a little bit in the latter stages, had a spin at one point, I think on lap 9, which has put pay to his chances of a podium finish here in this sprint race. Islander Jim says, just sorry we're not in the same time zone, that has negatively impacted my ability to participate. Islander Jim, we're looking at ways we can get around this. We're hoping that we can get more marshals involved from certain regions in the world and get more racing done in these parts. Iasko VR is going to come over the line now to take the sprint race here. Iasko with the victory. He was being closed in on the end there by Archil there. Archil really gave him a good fight and gave him something to worry about, but it looks like Iasko's held on for P1. Archil P2. Edwin will complete the podium here for the sprint race after a turbulent first few laps here. Comes through to take third position. Thorsten Schmidt in the end holding on from Disco on the track and in the classification. Disco says good race, flashes his lights there as we come over the line. So Thorsten fourth, Bruce will pick up fifth ahead of Disco after Disco's penalty. Disco finishes in sixth position. Nicky comes over the line in seventh. Duftino, disappointment for him, qualified so well, drops back to ninth place in the end with his penalty. Traven over the line in eighth place. Dalavan is just about, it looks, oh no, sorry, Dalavan finishes 10th. I thought that I could see those guys. It was just a camera angle. I do apologise. He is quite a comfortable 10th. Lionsfoot, first race in the Nissan GTR, and it's not gone to plan for Scotty so far in this one, but I'm sure that he'll be looking to fight back here in the feature race. Travis is going to come out of the last corner now. We said in the build-up Travis didn't get too much practice here in these, and unfortunately just not a good one for him so far. He said to me in the build-up that he hadn't really had much of a chance to get on the game in the last week or so, but good performance from Travis. Comes over the line to complete the sprint race in 12th position. Guys, we are going to take a 10-minute break and we're going to be back in a moment for the feature race. It'll be double the laps of the sprint race with a mandatory pit stop, I'll remind you, so lots of action to be seen. We're going to take a quick break. We'll see you guys very shortly. Thank you for joining us and see you in a bit. Welcome back everybody. We're almost about to get going for our feature race here for the evening for round 3 of RubbingsRacing's GT3 Championship. We're going to do a formation lap before we get going here. So guys, if Travis could please make your way to the front. Travis, you're going to lead us away for the formation lap. Lionsfoot, could you get behind Travis please? Dalavan, if you could get behind Lionsfoot for me. Duftino, can you get behind Dalavan? Traven, can you get behind Duftino? Nicky, can you get behind Traven? Disco, could you get behind NRP for me please? Bruce, if you could get behind Disco for me. Thorsten, can you pull up behind Bruce? Edwin, you're behind Thorsten. Archil, you're behind Edwin. Iasko, obviously you're on the back of Archil because he finished behind you in the race. And then Evan and Bama at the back please guys. So that's the order for this feature race here. Guys, thank you for rejoining us on the stream. If you like what you see and you want to get involved in the Rubbings Racing League, then go to www.rubbingsracing.co.uk. Like, subscribe, hit that bell button and be sure to donate at www.rubbingsracing.co.uk. Great to have these guys on the track with us for the feature race. We're almost about to go racing. We're just on our formation lap. We have got, as you can see, torrential wet conditions here. These guys are going to have the wet tyres fitted for the start of this race. This is going to be all about managing these wet conditions in the first part of this race. It's set to dry up. The forecast says that we're going to have bright sunshine later on in this race. So these guys are going to have to time their tyre changes and pit strategies to perfection if they want to take the victory here tonight in the feature race. So Travis leading the field away at the moment. Travis was a late entry to this one. We thought he wouldn't make it at one point. He just managed to get in at the last few seconds of our qualifying session for the sprint race. He enjoys the LMP2s and the Formula Renault cars. He's been racing for 3 years on Project Cars 2, but the GT3s are his favourite, so he's in good nick in this particular series. Lionsfoot lining up alongside him. Lionsfoot, our Welsh driver from Swansea. Marshall on our Discord. And starting in second in this one, his first race in the Nissan GTR. We saw he's changed his car for this one. He's sported the Lamborghini for the first 2 rounds of the season. He wasn't enjoying it for whatever reason, and here he is in his first race in the Nissan team. Dalavan behind these guys. Dalavan was a disappointing sprint race here this evening. We're looking to make that up for that, as is Will Duftinho as well. Pretty much in the same boat here, these guys. Traven lines up 5th. We've got NRP, Disco Bruce, Thorsten in 9th, Edwin Archel, Yasko Evan and Bama rounding out the field. Travis in just a moment. Once the final car's around the corner, you can go for it. So Travis, it's all down to you. Whenever you want to put your foot down, the track is green. No passing the car directly in front of you before the line. And Travis here just warming up his tyres. He dictates the pace here, and we're about to go in just a moment. Oh, not just yet, not just yet, not just yet, not just yet. Traven, you're going to have to back. Here we go, and we're underway. So it looks like Travis has put the foot down. Scotty there, just passing him a little bit too early there, but it looks like he's backed out of that one. So we are underway. We are racing here for the feature race for RubbingsRacing's GT3 Championship. Round 3 here at Fuji. Looks like someone spun off in the background. Looks like it might be Archel, but Travis leads us into the first corner. Dalavan second place. Looks like someone who's gone very, very wide there. That's Scotty there, already in the wars there, running off onto the runoff at turn 1. It looks like Disco's made up a place. He's up into P4 already here. Duftinho had a look there on Dalavan, but he's not quite close enough that time around. What's going on in the background? Looks like we're going too wide. NRP is diving up the inside of Lionsfoot. Looks like NRP's made the position there. Nicky up into P5 though. Lionsfoot's still there on the inside trying to hold the position. It looks like Bruce is trying to get involved in this action behind these guys. Edwin is up into P8. He's got ahead of Thorsten Smith already. Evan is around the outside. Evan's trying to hold it. Can he go around the outside of Thorsten Smith? That'd be a brave move there from Evan. He's had to back out of that one in the end. Yasko has got ahead of Bala for P11. It looks like Archel is struggling at the start there. Had a spin on the straight for whatever reason, but Archel in the wars. Traven has already come into the pits for his mandatory pit stop. Traven could be a bit of a masterstroke of a strategy there. He's banking on the rain, staying here for our feature race, but at the moment it is Travis leading the way by just under a second here. Disco face, what a start from our man from Scotland here. He's up into P2 already. Brilliant stuff from Disco. Fantastic driving. He's got Duftinho right up behind him though. Duftinho's not going to let that go lightly, but Disco, what an astonishing start to this race. Travis doing an excellent job here in P1 at the moment, holding on at the front of the field as they come towards the final corner now. Travis doing a brilliant job, but looks like Disco's pulled up alongside him here. Disco's going to go for moving to the final turn. Disco's up the inside. Dustino's going to follow him through. Travis with a little bit of a shaky final turn there, getting off on offline and out wide. And looks like Disco's up into the lead, but Travis is going to start into the slipstream now. It looks like Duftinho can't make the move. These guys, 3 in a line here as they come down the main straight. Looks like Disco's going to go defensive. Travis to the outside here. Is he going to go for a move up the inside, or is Disco going to try and fight back? Disco and Travis side by side. Looks like Travis very late on the brakes coming into turn 1 on the outside. Can he hold it? Can he get it turned in? It looks like he does. So Travis back past Disco for P1. These guys going at it here in the opening laps here for our feature race here at Fuji for round 3 of the GT3 Championship here at RubbingsRacing. Brilliant to see Travis not letting that one go, fighting it for everything he's worth here in this race, and holding on to P1 at the moment here. And in the background there we can see Duftinho hassling the back of Disco here for P2. He's not letting that one go. I checked over from Mollamut, having a good race here, a good start to this feature race. Disco's going to look to the outside here of Travis, but Travis is going to hold it on the inside, going to make it late on the brakes, but Disco's going to try the undercut here. He's going to get a fantastic drive there out of turn 4. Looks like he's going to have him before they even get to the straight, and Travis getting very loose there onto the curb, and he's going to go very, very wide. He's going to allow Duftino through, maybe Dalavan might get through as well. Dalavan's going to look to the inside. Travis looks like he's going to hold on for that position just about, but Travis in all sorts of problems. Travis has gone very wide coming into the chicane, and in the background there's contact there between Dalavan and Bruce Law. Dalavan goes wide, looks like Bruce Law's lost the position there, and it looks like NRP is going to pick up that position there ahead of Dalavan. So disaster there for Bruce and Dalavan there, making contact going into the chicane. That's allowed Nicky to, well, no, Nicky's dropped back off of them again. Nicky's had a moment. It looks like he's going to come under pressure here from Thorsten Smith, and there's contact between Thorsten Smith and Nicky, not too much doing though, and Archil in the meantime is going to nip through these guys. He's going to say thank you very much for making contact, because that's going to allow me to take P6 and move up the order a little bit more. In the background here, Yasko's pulling up onto the back of Nicky and Thorsten Smith to come out of the final corner now. Looks like Nicky getting very, very loose there on the exit, and that's going to allow Yasko to look to the inside here. Nicky all over the place there onto the grass there, but Yasko, our Bosnian reigning champion of the GT3 division, is up into P8. So these guys coming back through the pack. Archil, Yasko making progress here on the feature race from the opening laps here. Disco leads the race at the moment. He's just ahead of Duftino. These guys obviously made the move there on Travis. Travis had an absolute mare on lap 3 here for our feature race. He's dropped back to P3. Looks like Disco holding off the challenge of our Czech driver here on lap 4. And these guys have a little bit of history. We saw in 2019 season 2, Duftino and Disco. No, well, they weren't particularly the best of friends. They made contact in a few of the races. They always seem to be coming together, and it's great to see. We've got a hell of a battle on our hands here for this one. Disco and Duftino separated by 0.3 of a second. Full wet conditions here. The rain's still coming down in steroids here at the moment. Duftino has a little look there to the inside of Disco. Disco not taking the bait, holding on to the position here. It's darkness is falling here at Fuji already. So the visibility is going to be at a premium. Disco goes a little bit wide into the chicane. Duftino is going to have a look. The lights are on here for the feature race. Sun is setting behind the mountain here, and is Duftino going to look up to the inside of Disco? Yes, he is. Duftino goes for the move, but Disco's going to have the undercut and a better exit here. Duftino onto the curb on the exit, and looks like Disco's going to look to the outside, but Duftino is going to hold it. Duftino takes the position up into P1. Brilliant stuff there. In the meantime, this is going to allow... Oh, it's Duftino gets loose. Duftino gets loose there in the second to last corner. That's going to allow Disco up there, back up the inside there. Travis also getting involved. Oh, there's contact between Duftino and Travis. We've got a yellow flag through the final corner. There's a yellow flag through the final corner. Dalavan's picked up a position. Looks like Yasko's going to pick up a position. Thorsten up into P3, the final podium spot here. Disaster for Duftino and Travis. They were having such a good battle there, but it looks like they've lost out masses in that little incident. It looks like we've got Duftino back in P9, Travis in P8, and that has not gone well at all. We've got a battle in the background here for P5, I believe. It looks like Lionsfoot's here, looking to the inside here of NRP. Is that? No, that's NRP looking to the inside of Yasko, but I had to back out of that one in the end. Very, very close between these guys. Lionsfoot in P8, our rain man here, absolute rain master here, and driving the Nissan GTR, currently running just behind what looks like Archil and Travis at the moment. Travis with that disaster going through the last turn. That is very, very unfortunate indeed. Oh, we don't want to do that. Sorry about that, Flaky. Right, so we have got the map and the timings on the screen right now so that you guys can keep up to date with what is going on in the telemetry. But at the moment, Travis with that disaster here, contact with Duftino. Those guys were running 1 and 2 on the opening few laps, but it looks like they've dropped right through the pack. So our race leader at the moment is one of our reserves, stand-in for this evening. Disco McDiscoface rejoined the RubbingsRacing Discord just this week, was a regular in last season's season 2. And it's great to have him back with us here. He's driving a fantastic race here in the wet in our feature race. He's got a 2-second lead here to Dalavan at the moment. Dalavan is coming under increasing pressure now from Thorsten Smith. But they're at Red Mercedes. It's good to see it back at the front. We saw it at the front around the Circuit of Americas last season in round 5, I think it was. He took the sprint race. He should have won the feature race, but unfortunately problem with his fuel put paid to chances of taking the feature that particular evening. But Disco Face comes over the line to complete lap 5 with the comfortable lead at the moment. Dalavan is falling back into the clutches here of Thorsten Smith, and in the meantime also Jasko has made a phenomenal start to this feature race from the back of the grid up into P4. NRP running P5 at the moment. Archil here has made good progress as well, doesn't following Jasko through quite as well, but Archil here still doing a good job, making good progress. Travis is 7th, Lion's Foot in 8th place. We've got Duftino after that contact with Travis down in 9th, Bama 10th, Edwin falling back in 11th place at the moment. Disastrous start here for Edwin, who finished 3rd in our sprint race. Evan currently running in 12th, coming over for the first corner. We've got Bruce Law in 13th place. I'm not sure if Bruce has pitted, he might have already been into the pits. We'll try and get word on that if we can. If anyone knows if Bruce Law has been into the pits, please shout out. And Traven, we know, came into the pits on the first lap of this race. So Traven taking a gamble. Is it going to pay off? We'll have to keep an eye on that one as it develops. In the meantime, Dalavan just about holding on for second place here. And our race leader Disco's had a moment there. Disco's gone off at the chicane. He's dropped back to P2. Unbelievable. Disco, what happened there? He just must have had a wobble there under braking, and he's lost position here to Dalavan. So Dalavan finds himself in the race lead here in the feature race. Fantastic action. Disco, what on earth went wrong there? He was lapping so much faster than the rest of the field. He was lapping 2 seconds quicker than anybody else, and he's binned it there going into the chicane. But can he pull back onto the back of Dalavan and fight back here as they come out of the last corner onto the pit straight? Thorsten's right behind Disco now. Thorsten and Disco going to go side by side here down the pit straight. In the background there you can see Jasko is sizing these guys up and waiting for them to run into each other, maybe potentially, as they come over the line to complete lap 6, sorry. Great racing between these guys here, as we see. Looks like Disco had to get out of that one. He looked for a move at the inside, but Thorsten is up into P2. So great driving there from him. It looks like NRP is going side by side with Archil. Archil's up into P5, dives up the inside of the Nissan GTR. The Mercedes is into 5th position. Archil making progress after a shaky start to this race. Man who finished in P2 in the sprint race was actually coming back at Jasko in the closing laps of that one, and he's pulling right onto the back of the leaders now. Just 3 seconds separates the top 6. Dalavan, Thorsten Smith, Disco, Jasko, Archil and NRP at the front so far in the feature race. Cole Houghton says great race so far. Cole, it's been some fantastic battles we've seen in this feature race. I hope it's set to continue. The wet conditions seem to have dissipated a little bit. The track is now drying out with although having said that, night has fallen, so the track is not going to dry out as quickly as you would expect if we had bright sunshine. It's going to be a case of when to change to the dry tyres. It's going to be a very, very difficult decision for these guys, and stay tuned. We could see some interesting strategic calls in the rest of this race. But at the moment, it's Dalavan leading the pack. He's got half a second here on Thorsten Smith. Thorsten Smith is going to look to the inside, but he's not close enough. Jasko, with a phenomenal start to this race, finds himself in a podium spot. Disco following backwards here. He's lost a place here to Archil. Archil's up into P4 as he comes into the last corner. Disco, what's happened to him? We saw the error going into the chicane, but he's losing position after position after position, and now he's got NRP pulling right onto the back of him. NRP with that. Oh, and Nicky has lost it. Look at that. Nicky losing the car a little bit coming out of the last turn. We just heard a team radio there from Disco saying that he was hit by Jasko and Archil as they were coming through there. So there may be a steward's inquiry into that later on in the race. We'll have to keep an eye on that as it develops. But at the moment, we are 7 laps in to our feature race. Let's see what's going on in the background here, coming down the main straight. Are any of these guys battling, or is it pretty much line astern at the moment? Edwin has picked off Lion's Foot for P10, so Edwin into a top 10 position. It's about time that we saw Edwin making some positions in this race. We know he's got bags of pace, but at the moment he's not showing it. Our Colombian driver, championship leader going into this race, having an absolute disaster, really struggling for whatever reason around Fuji Speedway. Maybe a bogey track for him. It's not gone at all to plan so far for our season 2019 season 1 champion here at RubbingsRacing, but he is the championship leader so far in the standings for season 2020 season 1, so We'll have to keep an eye on Edwin and see if he progresses in this race, but at the moment it's not gone to plan at all. Thorsten Smith, Dan Dalavan's dropped back at the front. Dalavan loses 2 positions here. It looks like Thorsten Smith and Jasko have both made a position out here. So whatever happened to Dalavan, we don't know, but it looks like Thorsten is up into P1, lapping very, very quickly as well. We can see on the timing boards there, Thorsten and Jasko absolutely flying here in the wet conditions for our feature race. But Thorsten is going to have a hell of a job here to try and keep Jasko behind him. We know that Jasko excels in these feature races, or excels in any race in Rubbings Racing, to be honest. He's the absolute star of the GT3 division, reigning champion. So far this season, hasn't had it all his own way. We've seen Edwin put in some major shifts so far, and also one to look out for, Archel. Absolutely flying in 3rd position. He's picked off Dalavan for 3rd place. He's into the final podium spot, and he is lapping a second lap faster than these two at the front. Jasko is going to have to get past Thorsten Smith ASAP if he wants to stop Archel from getting to him. He has a little look to the inside, but Thorsten covers it off. It looks like Thorsten doing an excellent job here of keeping our Bosnian driver behind him, but he's going to go very wide at the first corner, and Jasko is going to make the most of it and move a position up into P1. It looks like Thorsten's going to find himself open to an attack here from Archel. Archel looks to the inside of turn 2. Is he going to make the move? Archel up the inside. Can he hold it on the exit? It looks like he is going to. So Archel with the move, with the position gained there. Thorsten dropping back here in the process. He's now going to find himself with Dalavan all over his mirrors, but Dalavan we saw dropping back in the last couple of laps. So is Dalavan maybe struggling or coming under pressure now in this feature race as the track dries out? This is going to become a question of when these guys are going to bring it into the pits and make their change to dry tyres. We can see the sun has set, so the drying of the track is not going to be what you would think it would be if it was bright sunshine. But you never know what's going to happen here. We're going to have a look back through the pack now and see what's going on further back. We've got Disco as falling back into the clutches here of NRP as they come through the chicane, looking very, very close. Nicky all over the back of him. Disco can see him in his mirrors. Nicky's swirling around a little bit on the exit of the chicane there, but he's keeping it together at the moment. Good to see Disco there. You can see that car just not really comfortable for whatever reason. Maybe he's got too much fuel in that one, but we'll keep an eye as that carries on. In the meantime, the battle for the lead, Jasko and Archel are going side by side here out of the last corner. Archel up the inside as they come down the pit straight, but he's going to come into the pits by the looks of it. Is he coming into the pits or is he not? I don't know. No, he's just going very defensive there, taking a defensive line, maybe a little bit of a dummy from Archel there, trying to make Jasko think he was going into the pits when actually he's staying out for at least another lap here as we come into turn 1. Archel with the lead of the race, made the move on the exit at the final turn, dodged the slipstream and has maintained P1 here into turn 1. And Jasko's not going to like that one bit. He's going to want to fight back here as the track dries out significantly. But Archel, after a shaky start to this feature race, finds himself with the lead. Brilliant response here from our newcomer to Rubbings Racing's GT3 League. Brilliant to see Archel picking his way through the pack and really taking the fight here to Jasko. Edwin is going to hope that Archel stops Jasko from taking the win in this race and prevent our Bosnian champion from gaining too many points on Edwin in this round. Obviously we know that Edwin was leading the championship by 4 points going into this round, but that will not be any longer after this one. Jasko will walk away from this round with the lead if it stays as it is. The question is by how much, and if Archel can stay in front of Jasko, then that gap will be minimised to the absolute smallest amount possible, which will delight our Colombian driver, who's currently struggling very, very much so in 8th position at the moment. Our points leader going into this season 2019 champion. He's closing the gap though at the moment. He's picked it up a little bit. He's definitely picks up the pace as Edwin, so keep an eye on that one. He's did a 1:43 last time around, which was actually faster than both of these front two guys. As we see Archel coming out the last corner now, Jasko sticking with him, not letting him get away with this one. Thank you to the guys joining us on the stream. This has been a hell of a feature race so far. We saw on the opening laps Travis and Duftinho coming together on lap 3, I think it was. They had a contact going into the final turn. These two were 1 and 2. They are now down in P4 and P8, so that has not gone to plan at all. Traven came into the pits very early in this race, as has Thorsten Smith, so they've all been in for their mandatory stop, and so Thorsten Smith's been in for the dry tyres already. Traven made a change to wet tyres on the first lap, so he still needs to come, so he will still need to pit for the dry tyres later on in this race. Traven really in a difficult position. Bruce Law has been in, he's out of the running at the moment, currently running P14 in this race at this stage in the race. Cole Houghton says, is it visual damage or does it actually affect the car? It's visual damage, Cole. That is just so that people who are going to practice and practice and practice for the whole week don't end up having their race ruined on lap 1. It's a good way of just keeping everyone interested in this race, because we don't want people to put their heart and souls into this and then end up with a damaged car on lap 1, and that's, you know, all of their hard work undone. But it is visual damage for these anyway. That's the question. Archel currently leading this race at the moment, lap 11 of 27 here in this feature race here. Mandatory pit stop in this one. Archel and Yasko still yet to come in for dry tyres. We know that they will be at some point. Edwin is absolutely flying here in P4. He's suddenly just got it together in these last couple of laps. He's whatever's happened, I don't know, but Edwin's just suddenly turned into an absolute machine in these last few laps. He's lapping 2 seconds a lap faster than Archel and Yasko. So our championship leader not done in this feature race at the moment. As the track dries out, it seems to be coming to him, and he's found this dry line and really is exploiting that for everything he can as he comes out the final corner. Is he going to come in for his mandatory pit stop this time around? We know he seems to be finding grip that no one else can really find, so it'd be interesting to see if he does deem it enough, if he does deem the track driving well enough to actually bring it in. Not this time around by the looks of it. He's staying out at the minute. Dalavan comes in for his mandatory stop, so Dalavan is the second man to change the dry tyres. And let's have a look at Thorsten Smith. Thorsten Smith has been in for the dry tyres, so let's see what his sector times are like as he exits the final corner now. This is going to tell everyone whether or not it's time for the dry tyres. Thorsten Smith is currently about to do his first proper lap here on the slicks. Here he comes, Thorsten Smith over the line to complete lap 11. And ladies and gentlemen, you can see from that the dry tyres are definitely the ones to go for now. Thorsten Smith 2 seconds faster than the 2 leaders that last time around. This is now the time when these guys are going to be trying to switch to the slick tyres and make the moves over. You can see now this is proof from Thorsten Smith's lap times. He's absolutely flying on the slick tyres. It's time for the change. Archel, Yasko, Edwin, NRP, Duftino and Disco, all of these guys, Lion's Foot, I'm sure will be looking to make the change as soon as possible. Thorsten has been absolutely flying on these last couple of laps where he's been on the dry tyres. Archel, Yasko and Edwin still yet to come in, so where is Thorsten going to come out in relation to these guys? I suspect that Thorsten may emerge with the lead of the race once these guys come in. Here comes Archel and Edwin now, about to come into the pit lane to make their change to the dry tyres. This is going to be a fascinating second half of this race to see if Thorsten has done enough on these outlaps to gain a position. Archel spins the car on the pit entry there, trying to get the car slowed down. It looks like he just about did enough to get it slowed down, but in the meantime he's lost about 5 seconds there to Yasko. Yasko overtaking him there on the pit entry, so not very good there from Archel. Edwin, for goodness knows what reason, is staying out at the moment, so Edwin seems comfortable on these wet tyres, but we know he's still got to come in for his mandatory pit stop. He is going pretty quickly though, but he's a second or so off of Thorsten Smith's time. Thorsten Smith on the dry tyres, so Edwin comfortable, but definitely not going as quickly as he could be. So but Edwin still staying with it, still sticking to the task and staying out on the track. Thorsten is going to come over the line now on the dry tyres. Let's see if those laps out of the pits have done enough to put him up into a potentially race winning position. It looks like it has. Thorsten emerges in front of Jasko, in front of Archel. This is absolutely fantastic for Thorsten Schmidt. He's made the pit strategy call absolutely to perfection there, making an early change to the dry tyres. We're just hearing a team radio there from Disco McDisco Face. The pit crew have failed to change his tyres to the dry tyres. That is a disaster for Disco, still staying on the wet tyres. His pit crew letting him down once again here, and we might have to consider not doing a changeable weather conditions for our GT3 championship here at RubbingsRacing for future, because there does seem to be an issue with this. But Disco McDisco Face out of the race, and that's unfortunate to see there for Disco. Disco, unfortunately, the victim of a glitch on Project Cars 2, which we're all aware of. We'd hoped that we'd got that sorted out, but it seems as though it's come back to haunt us once again. So Disco Face, very unfortunate there to see him retire from this feature race with a just a glitch there. There's nothing you can do about them, but we'll have to look going forward. We'll have to look at not having changeable weather conditions here at RubbingsRacing, because this does seem to be an issue. So from now on, ladies and gentlemen, we will have just consistent weather conditions for our races here at RubbingsRacing. But Thorsten Schmidt here seems to have made the most of the final changeable condition feature race that you'll ever see at RubbingsRacing. He's currently 4th, but with these guys in front of him still need to pit. 27 seconds is his gap to our race leader Edwin as he comes over the line. Thorsten Schmidt and Edwin actually going very, very similar on pace at the moment. You can see there Edwin 41.3 on worn out wet tyres. That's fantastic from Edwin, still putting in the lap times despite being on worn wet tyres. And so Edwin looking to keep this one up. If he can do, he might be in with a chance of challenging Thorsten Schmidt for the race win. Having said that though, he probably needs to change to dry tyres at some point in this race, and the extra time in the pits for changing tyre compound will knock him back. So Edwin, I think, will probably be dropping back to around P4 once you account for all the changes, and when that happens it should release Thorsten Schmidt into the lead ahead of Jasko. What's happened to Archel? Archel's dropped back. Archel's out of the race. Archel has dropped out of the race for whatever reason. We're not quite sure what's happened. Archel was riding very, very prominently in this race, but for some reason, maybe something happened with the pit strategy, but he has dropped out of this one. Disco Face says, why does this game hate me? Cole Houghton says that's a stylish entry to the pits. I assume he's referring to Archel's rather interesting entry to the pits. Maybe he was disqualified for the entry to the pits. Maybe he was reversing down the pit lane. We're not quite sure. I'm sure we'll get word on what happened with Archel, but he is out of this race, which means that this is going to allow Jasko to gain some points here on Edwin should he get ahead of him in this race. But Edwin currently leading the race at the moment. What's happening further down the pack? Let's see. Looks like we're all pretty strung out at the moment. So Edwin leading the race. Current net race leader is Thorsten Schmidt once Edwin and Duftino come into the pits, and Thorsten's got a 6-second gap here to Jasko, who's running in P4, but the lap times, there's not really much to separate them at the moment. They're lapping pretty consistently within each other. Cole Houghton says, is it possible to become a reserve for this, or can it only be done at the start of the season? No, Cole. If you want to register as a reserve for the GT3 Championship, then go to the Championship sign-up section on our Discord, vote on the GT3 section, and we'll put you down as a reserve. And that means that every Saturday evening at 7 PM, just over 24 hours before the start of this race, you can actually fill in a Google Forms application, which means that you can become a reserve for this championship. You can actually put your name down to effectively start the race, to be on the grid for the actual race. And the first however many spaces we've got to sign up will get a space in the race, and you'll be one of these guys driving around on the track in front of you here live on YouTube on the RubbingsRacing channel. Flaky says, doesn't he already have softs, or isn't the top right bugged? No, that is a glitch there, Jeff. Edwin has not pitted at the moment. He's currently still on his wet tyres that he started this race with. He still needs to make his mandatory stop, but he's doing a fine job here on these wet tyres. But he'll be losing time, I'm absolutely certain, as this race progresses. He's got a 19-second lead to Duftino, who also needs to come in for his mandatory stop at some stage. Looking at the times though, it does really, to me, I can't imagine how Edwin can be on the wet tyres, but I know he is. He's definitely not been into the pits. I'm absolutely certain that Edwin has not been into the pits. It is rather confusing, so we'll always have to figure this out. I'm sure that Edwin hasn't been into the pits. I'm absolutely certain of it. I mean, commentators are sometimes wrong, but I'm pretty sure he hasn't been. So at the moment we have got net race leader Thorsten Schmidt currently running P3 at the moment. He's got a 5-second gap here to Jasko in P4, so Jasko actually closing the gap here on our German driver. These guys effectively battling for the lead of this race, of the feature race. So Jasko, albeit with a penalty at the moment, Jasko has picked up a penalty. We don't usually see this, maybe ill discipline from our reigning champion at the moment. It's not been an easy feature race, but he has picked up a 1-second penalty for his troubles so far in this one. We are on lap 16 here of 27 for our feature race here for the evening for RubbingsRacing's GT3 Championship, round 3 here at Fuji. We're just going to try and get confirmation on whether Edwin has been into the pits. I'm pretty certain he has though. He must have been. He must have been. I cannot imagine that he hasn't been, because if he's running P1, I just can't imagine that he could have been into the pits. It just seems beyond belief to me. Yeah, looking back through the stream, I'm pretty sure he has. He hasn't been into the pits. Yeah, he definitely hasn't been into the pits. So Edwin still yet to make his mandatory pit stop here, coming round to complete lap 17. It looks like Duftino is coming in for his mandatory stop, so that will move Thorsten and Jasko up into P2 and 3 at this moment in the race. Here we go. Duftino gets it slowed down to 37 miles an hour successfully as well. And Edwin, I've just got to say, massive hats off here to Edwin for actually keeping up this sort of pace on worn out wet tyres in near enough dry conditions here in the dark here at Fuji. He's only about 3-4 seconds off of true dry pace on these wet tyres, so really truly phenomenal job here from our Colombian driver, leader of the championship going into this race. And so it says to Flaky says he's gaining time to second. That is Jasko, I believe, gaining on Thorsten Schmidt. These guys will be battling for the lead come the end of this race. Disco Face says, my pit stops are always bugged. Spend all my setup time making sure it's set into the race. Engineers say no. Well, they let you down in this instance, Disco. But as I said earlier on, we will not be implementing changeable conditions ever again in this GT3 Championship. It just causes too many problems here as we see our race leader Edwin coming into the pit lane. He's got 25-second lead as he pulls in. It looks like he's got it slowed down successfully here, so this will release Thorsten Schmidt and Jasko into P1 and 2. We've got 10 laps to go here in our feature race for round 3 of RubbingsRacing's GT3 Championship here at Fuji. Let's see if Edwin's pit crew can get him in and out in record time. Looks like he's been released out of the pit box. He's going to trundle towards the end of the pit lane. It looks like Thorsten Schmidt and Jasko are going to be heading down past the pit lane at this particular moment. We're going to ride on board here with Thorsten and see what he's seeing at the moment. He's coming down the pit straight here and he's got past Edwin comfortably. Jasko should be able to follow him through. Oh, it's going to be side by side, but it looks like both of them come out ahead of our Colombian driver. It is race on, ladies and gentlemen. We've got an unbelievable battle here. We've got Thorsten Schmidt, Jasko and Edwin separated by 3 seconds here on the track. 10 laps to go here in our feature race. We've got dry conditions in the night time here in the shadow of Mount Fuji. You can't see the mountain at this time of day, but it's right there watching over us as we race round here. RubbingsRacing putting on a hell of a show here this evening. And let's just have a look down at the timing screens. It looks like Bruce Law and Lionsfoot are having a little bit of a ding-dong here. It looks like Bruce Law's actually just past Lionsfoot. So Bruce Law there making progress after a difficult start to this feature race. It looks like he's just overtaken our Welsh driver there. We'll keep an eye on the leading guys here. Thorsten Schmidt leading by just under 2 seconds now to Jasko VR. Jasko VR, reigning champion, and Edwin, our former champion, right behind him here. They can see him. You can probably see them in the distance in his mirrors. They can see those headlights there of that Lamborghini 666 behind him. And these three guys, absolute class of the field. They've got bags of time here in hand over NRP. NRP best of the rest at the moment, 28 seconds behind. But it's all about Thorsten, Jasko and Edwin. I'm sure that Archil, had he not been disqualified for his pit entry, would have been there pushing these guys to the absolute limit. But unfortunately, just a bit of a misjudgment there on the pit entry. Maybe there was a puddle or something as he was coming in to slow down there. Very unfortunate there for Archil. But Thorsten comes over the line to complete lap 18. And start lap 19 here with Jasko in the background there, coming under increasing pressure now from our Colombian driver Edwin. And our two champions of the GT3 division look to be going at it again. Separated by 4 points in the championship going into this race. Jasko gaining a few points on his rival in the championship in the sprint race here this evening. But Edwin looking to limit that gain to as much as he can here in this feature race. It's a race on here. 1.2 seconds is the gap between Thorsten and Jasko. Another 7/10 back to Edwin. It's going to be a hell of a finish here. In the meantime, Duftino looks like he's got round Lionsfoot for 7th place, and he's going to be closing on to the back of Bruce Law now. Can Duftino maybe get into P6 here, or maybe he's got his sights set on Traven actually, or is that Traven or Travis? It is Travis. Travis currently running P5. We haven't spoken much about Travis in this race. He started on pole position in this one, had a coming together with Duftino. Very unfortunate for those guys. Bit of a racing incident as they came through the last corner. Maybe Duftino pushed out wide, but at the moment, it looks like it's going to be round 2. Duftino is going to go up the inside of Bruce Law. Can he make the move stick? It looks like he's going to do it. Duftino up the inside of turn 2. But it looks like yes, he is. He is up ahead of Bruce Law there. Good move there from our Czech driver. He's up into P6. He's going to now try and chase down Travis. It's going to be round 2 between those guys. We saw them come together in the opening couple of laps here. And it looks like Duftino absolutely flying at the moment. He's going very, very quickly. He's just come out of the pit lane. So that last lap time wasn't representative. But it'd be interesting to see if he can pull that gap now. Thorsten Schmidt, our race leader at the moment, has done a phenomenal job here in the wet conditions. We're on a dry track now, and he can see the reigning champion Jasko absolutely reeling him in at the moment. Cole Houghton says he's just signed up for the GT3 reserves. Brilliant. Cole Houghton, we're looking forward to seeing you on the track, mate. Jeff Sharp says your pit crew must be English, Disco. Yeah, they've definitely, well, they must be jet lagged or something, because they're definitely struggling to get him sorted out in this one. As we see Thorsten Schmidt here absolutely being homed in now by our reigning champion Jasko VR, looking to gain some points here on Edwin. He'll be leading the championship after the sprint race here this evening, where he won and Edwin finished in 3rd place, and he'll be looking to extend that gap here. Edwin falling off these guys a little bit now in the later stages of this race. I'm not sure if Edwin maybe started on the has kept him on the wet tyres. It looks like he hasn't changed his tyres, so Edwin is going to struggle even more as this race continues. We're pretty much full dry track now, so we're looking at Edwin dropping back in the closing laps. We're on lap 20 of 27 for our feature race here for RubbingsRacing's GT3 Championship. Thorsten Schmidt leading, but not by very much at all. Jasko 0.8 of a second quicker last time around. We're going to keep an eye on the split times and see what it is like this time around as they exit the final corner now. Just 0.6 of a second separate these guys. Jasko maybe just a little bit too far back to make a move as they're coming towards turn 1. We'll keep an eye on the split times here as they come over the line to complete lap 20. 7 laps left to go here at Fuji for round 3 of RubbingsRacing's GT3 Championship feature race. Thank you everybody for joining us on the stream. Thank you for your comments. Flaky there mentioning that Edwin was going very, very quickly on those wet tyres. He's definitely on the wets though, Flaky. He hasn't changed those tyres. He's still on those wets, and it's showing on the timing screens now as we see Jasko ever closing that gap to Thorsten last time around. 0.7 of a second quicker, but Thorsten definitely with the racecraft and a wise old head on his shoulders, and I'm sure he's fully capable of keeping Jasko behind him. It's just all about keeping your concentration and not opening that and not letting that door open, but Jasko always looking for that door and hoping he can push it open at some point in this race. Thorsten doing a resolute job here of staying in front of our reigning champion. It's not easy when you've got that Lamborghini in your mirrors. We know that Jasko can pile on the pressure and be very distracting, but Thorsten, hats off to him, doing a fantastic job. Oh, we say that Thorsten goes very, very wide coming into the chicane, and is Jasko going to look to the outside here? He's going to go around the outside. Our Bosnian driver is into the lead of the race. Oh, commentator's curse. Thorsten Schmidt down into P2. The Porsche not able to get the grip there going through the chicane, and Jasko VR back into the lead of the race. He's been hunting him down in the last few laps ever since the dry conditions came over us. He's been absolutely flying, and now we see Jasko VR back into P1. Thorsten is going to look to fight back here coming down the main straight, but it looks like he's too far back. Jasko already over a second ahead here as they come onto the main straight. So Jasko VR, he hunted down Thorsten Schmidt. He was pushing him like crazy over the last few laps, and he's finally got his reward. Jasko VR is into P1 here. Thorsten Schmidt not letting him go though, still staying within a second here, keeping it within his sights as we complete lap 21. We've got 6 laps left to go here for our feature race. I'm gutted for Thorsten Schmidt. He's driven really superbly in this race. We saw him on the podium last week in our feature race at Monza, and again showing his credentials in these longer races. He's definitely got what it takes to challenge these top guys at the front. and he's not letting Jasko run away with this at the moment. Your Thorsten Smith's last lap was an absolute disaster. He lost 1 seconds to Jasko, so he'll be looking to respond this time around. But as we can see here, our Colombian driver Edwin definitely getting it hooked up. Maybe Edwin did change to the dry tyres in his pit stop, because he's definitely making gains here on Thorsten, closing that gap. There's less than a second between our German and our Colombian at this stage in the race. I just want to say a massive thank you to all you guys watching us live on YouTube. This has been a hell of a race here for our feature race. Jasko VR currently leading us at the moment, but Thorsten Schmidt here has done a brilliant job. We saw the overtake just a lap ago, just at that corner there, the chicane. Just over a lap ago, Jasko taking the lead. He was chasing down Thorsten for some time, as we see a laps car moving out of the way. That's Bammer there, moving over for the leaders. Great stuff from Bammer. Hats off to him for letting these guys through and not interfering with the leaders there. It's always appreciated here at Rubbings Racing. You can expect that drivers are clean, respectful and fair. So well done to Bammer, standing actually this evening, one of the reserve drivers for Rubbings Racing, and raced regularly with us at the start of Rubbings Racing when we first started back in August of last year. Good to see him back with us, our American driver. Lee Kendall says, well done guys in tough conditions. Yeah, honestly I've got to say, really good driving in the opening laps. The guys kept it clean in challenging conditions, and as the track has dried out, these guys really are doing a good job. And Edwin here, I believe still on wet tyres. I don't know how he's managed to do this. Stayed on the wet tyres for the duration of this race, still lapping just over a second off of the leader's pace. So truly phenomenal job here from our Colombian driver, season 2019 season 1 champion Cole Houghton. Brit says brilliant racing. JR says Jasko's on fire. What happened to Archel? Archel got disqualified for pit entry. He actually spun on the pit entry, ended up facing backwards, and got disqualified as a result. Was very unfortunate for him. Got caught out by a puddle on the entry, and it happens in racing. Unfortunately, we're all none of us are immune to a mistake. It happens in racing. Disco McDiscoface says, I've just fired my team on the hunt for a new car. Is it going to be a new livery, Disco, or are you staying with Mercedes? Maybe you just need to have a word with Toto Wolff and get him to send you some mechanics. I'm sure he'll do the job for you. You're one of his star drivers after all. But we'll see how that one develops anyway. We'll have news for that one next week, or next Sunday, when we go to Road America for round 4 of Rubbings Racing's GT3 Championship. Jasko stretching out his lead at the front of the field. He's currently got 2.4 seconds. He's really got it down here in this last couple of laps. He made the move on Thorsten Smith. You may have been with us on lap 21 when he made the move around the outside of the chicane. Fantastic overtake from our Bosnian to take the lead off of Thorsten. Thorsten's dropped off since then a little bit, currently 3 seconds off the pace, and Jasko there with another fastest lap of the race, a 1:40 dead, and this track drying out and improving as the laps go tick down here. We've got 4 laps to go here for our feature race here for round 3 of Rubbings Racing's GT3 Championship. Disco McDiscoface says no more Mercedes. He's leaving the Mercedes team. He's said to Toto Wolff, I'm off. You can forget me driving for your team again. They've let him down too often. His pit crew have been an absolute disaster for him. JR says, what's Edwin's time penalty? Oh, let's have a look at this. Edwin has got a 3-second time penalty. So Thorsten Smith knows now that if he can, even if Edwin passes him, he's still got a 3-second penalty that Edwin has got. So this looks like it should be Thorsten back in staying in P2 for the remainder of this race. Jasko is running away with the lead at the moment, but Thorsten here looks pretty comfortable. Let's see what's going on further back in the pack. Nicky is running in P4 at the moment, currently 34 seconds off of the leader. Travis doing a great job in P5. We haven't mentioned him too much here, but he's doing a superb job here in the yellow Ferrari. Started on pole position in this race. We've got Bruce Law running 4 seconds down the road in P6. He's got back past Duftinho. We saw Duftinho making a move on track. We were on the stream when that happened, but Bruce Law has got back past our Czech driver. Doing a good job here, Bruce. P6 currently, definitely better than the sprint race. We've got Lion's Foot running in P8, our Welsh driver. First race in the Nissan GTR, definitely having a better run of the feature race than he did in the sprint race. We saw maybe just getting to grips there in his new car, but he's doing a good job here. Obviously he is our rain master. Lion's Foot always excels in the rain. We're seeing that again. Changeable conditions, Lion's Foot's always going to be there fighting for every position. Traven running P9. Currently 1 minute 14 off the pace. Bama and Evan, we know, are a lap down. Bama coming in to the pits now for his mandatory stop. Evan, brilliant stuff from Evan, driving in the blue Porsche, stand-in for this race. Reserve driver on our roster. It's good to see him sticking with it and carrying on here. Great to have him with us. A good guy as well is Evan, currently running P11 in this race. So back with the race leader. He's got 4 seconds now on Thorsten. Is Edwin closing in on Thorsten? Not really. Edwin looks set for a podium finish here. He's got 30-second gap here to our man in P4, Nicky. So as it stands, I think Edwin should complete the podium. He's got a 3-second penalty, which will hinder his chances of picking up P3. But then again, he's 3 seconds behind Thorsten as it stands anyway, so he would have a hell of a job on his hands to get that position. So it looks like the podium order is pretty much set here. Jasko, Thorsten and Edwin are top 3 at the moment. The main battles here going on the track look to be between Travis, Bruce, and has Bruce spun it, or was that a lag? No, Bruce getting very loose there going through turn 2. He's absolutely wringing the neck here of that car. He's got Duftinho homing in on him as well. Duftinho less than 3 seconds here behind Bruce Law. Duftinho's last lap time not too good though, but this is one to keep an eye on here. Travis has got 3 seconds here on Bruce, who's got 3 seconds in turn to Duftinho. 6 seconds couple of these guys. We've got 2 laps to go here at Fuji. 2.5 laps to go for these guys until the end of our feature race. It's been a fantastic feature race here for round 3 of RubbingsRacing's GT3 Championship at Fuji. Disco McDisco Face responds to a question from Jeff Sharp. Jeff Sharp says, are you going back to the BMW, Disco? Disco responds, I'll be staying in Germany for sure. So is Disco going to be making a change to the Audi perhaps? We've heard rumours that he's gone down to the Audi garage and had a word with them. Obviously Audi, without their drivers, they were due to have NRP and Duftinho driving for them at the start of this season, but unfortunately there was an issue with the contract for NRP, and with Duftinho he simply didn't enjoy driving their car very much at all. So Audi without a driver for this RubbingsRacing GT3 season. Could Disco potentially be filling that void? Find out next week at Road America. So at the moment here, Travis is being homed in a little bit now by Bruce. Bruce has closed that gap to within 2 seconds here as they come into turn 1. Duftinho not making an impression on these guys anymore by the looks of it. So it looks like it's between Travis and Bruce here for P5. Let's see where our leader is. He's about to start the last lap. Jasko, he's got 4 seconds here on Thorsten Smith. He's just going to have to bring that car around the last lap and he will have the race win in the bag. Edwin running in P3. He's done an excellent job of getting those wet tyres to last pretty much the whole race here. You've got to say hats off to Edwin. He's done an amazing job in this one. He's dropped, so his lap times have dropped off, but that's to be expected really in the situation. So NRP currently running in P4 at the moment. Travis doing an excellent job, although Bruce Law is really closing that gap now. You can see he's right behind him on his bumper as he comes through the chicane. These guys are going to be absolutely bumper to bumper. Travis has got his mirrors absolutely full of Bruce. Can Bruce do anything here in this last lap and a half? Travis is on very shaky legs and Bruce is going to look to the inside. These guys are going to go side by side in the second last corner. It looks like Bruce is getting the move. Bruce Law up into P5. Can Travis fight back here coming into the last turn? Or Travis, if he's wise enough, will get a nice exit out of the final corner and make a move. No, he's not. He's going to go for a dive. And Travis is back up into P5, but Bruce is going to get the better exit out of the final corner. He's got the slipstream here, coming down this long pit straight. It's over a mile long here at Fuji, so these guys are going to get well up to speed. And Bruce is going to have a chance here as they come towards turn 1. So it looks like Travis has P5, but Bruce Law absolutely hassling the back of him. He's going to have his mirrors absolutely full of Bruce Law as they come towards turn 1. Travis for the moment is holding on to the position as can Bruce get a nice exit here. Travis getting very, very loose there out of turn 1, and Bruce is going to look to the inside, but Travis just about holding the position on the outside. Brilliant stuff from these guys, will to will, action packed racing for the final top 5 spot. Looks like Travis has got the position there at the moment. Where is our race leader Jasko? He's driven fantastically in our feature race here, and he took the sprint race in a brilliant drive there. Jasko VR is going to take the championship lead here for our GT3 championship here at RubbingsRacing, round 3 at Fuji. Brilliant drive from Jasko, takes the victory, double here at Fuji. Thorsten Smith comes over the line in second place. Fantastic, second feature race in a row that he's taken P2. Edwin is going to lose lots of points to his championship rival Jasko here in P3. I'm sure he'll be looking to bounce back at Road America, a track that we know Edwin is strong around. There we see some celebratory donuts there from our race winner, Yasko VR. Great to see. NRP. It's going to come out the last corner now. He's going to take P4 in the Nissan GTR. Best of the rest here, Nicky, tonight. It's great to see Nicky here, propping up the rest of the pack, well, topping the rest of the pack, I should say. Here we go, Nicky, our resident marshal from Silverstone, over the line. P4, great job from Nicky. Travis looks like he's just about going to hold on from Bruce Door for P5. It's going to be a drag to the line. Have we got any penalties to show? It looks like Travis without a penalty. Bruce has a penalty anyway, so even if Bruce gets him in this drag to the line, it looks like Bruce will not be able to pick up P5. Travis holds on ahead of Bruce for P5. Late entry here. Travis thought he wasn't going to make the race. Just about got in for qualifying. Datinho follows these guys home in P7. Lionsfoot, he is going to come home in P8. Much better from Lionsfoot in the feature race. Had a disastrous sprint race. He's recovered very, very nicely in changeable conditions. Our Rain Man here, P8. Traven going to come over in P9. Where's Evan? Evan is going to, I think he's a lap down. So Evan did not get to finish the race. Guys, what a fantastic race. I would like to say to all of the guys watching on stream, please like, subscribe and hit that bell button. Be sure to donate at www.rubbingsracing.co.uk. If you want to get involved in the action, all you need to do is go to our website. That's www.rubbingsracing.co.uk. Sign up to our championships. You have to complete a quick evaluation first, and then you are free to roam around our Discord and sign up to any championships that you wish. Guys, I want to say a massive thank you to everybody for watching the stream. Lee Kendall says congratulations to everybody that stuck with it. Fantastic race, guys. Jeff Sharp says great races. Cole Houghton says let's go, Nicky. Your man finishing in 4th place there, Cole. Cole, brilliant driving. Disco says good extreme. Cole Houghton says the same. Thank you very much, guys. It's always appreciated. But obviously, the most congratulations goes to the guys on track, Yasko, Thorsten and Edwin, for completing our podium. I just want to give the stream a moment so guys can comment. So I'm not going to end it straight away. If you guys want to chat or talk about the race, you're more than welcome. I just want to say a massive thank you to the guys in the race, and we will see you again for next week. We'll be at Road America for round 4. Please join us 8 PM GMT. I'm glad the stream went smoothly this week. No technical difficulties like we've had recently. And I just want to say, join us on Tuesday for the RRTCC. It is the next round of the RRTCC will be at Catalonia in Spain. Be sure to join us at 8 PM GMT for that one. From all of us, it's good night. I'm going to keep the stream going for a couple of minutes so people can talk amongst themselves. Peace.